What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing some work on Wago. As you guys know, we are in the process of getting this thing turboed, and right now we're trying to get it ready for Cletus and Cars, which is going to be this weekend. We plan on leaving Wednesday night, so that leaves us with about 2.5 days to get Wago fully knocked out. We just have today, tomorrow, and then a half day, and we have to leave Wednesday night. So right now we have everything kind of laid out for what we believe we need to get this thing turboed. So you guys know we have the manifold, the turbo, we got a 44mm tile wastegate. We have to install this Deshworks 400 liters per hour fuel pump. And we have just some fittings, radiator, intercooler, some intercooler piping. We need to get a blow-off valve figured out. But we are gonna try to have everything knocked out, you know, in the next couple of days. Me and Brent have already kind of done a little bit of work on it. Mostly Brent, he kind of helped me with the wiring the other day. He was starting to clean up some of the wiring under the dash. And then we also, over here, you wanna grab that light? We were kind of brainstorming what to do for the fuel system, because we're not gonna really be able to use the stock lines with how everything's set up. So what we're going to be doing is Brent had this dash 6 fitting that fit on the factory top hat right here, and we're going to just be using this 90 right here. We're gonna run a dash 6 feed line all the way to the fuel rail. We don't have the new pump in there just yet, but we will be swapping that out to get our fuel system going. And then, like I said, Brent got the wiring kind of cleaned up over on that side. We can show more of that later. But yeah, we need to go ahead and get the turbo back on there. We had to take it off because we needed a new exhaust manifold gasket right here. But we need to get that bolted on, get our oil feed, oil return all figured out. We have all the fittings we should need. And then also, like I said, we need to get the radiator figured out. We're not going to be using this one. Brent actually had an extra one over here that Sean is working on for us. This one had this fitting coming off the side, and Sean cut that off, and he's going to be welding this little piece of aluminum to block that guy off, and then he hole sawed a new hole right here to move the fitting onto the back of it, so we can use that radiator instead of this one, because this one, it has that fitting in the middle, and it's going to be a lot easier for us to run a coolant line if that fitting's all the way over here, because it's just going to be a straight shot forward and then a 90 into this upper coolant fitting right here, instead of it being all the way over here and like having to go under the throttle body or something. So that's what he's working on right now. And then we also need to make some sort of bracket to hold up the intercooler and the radiator, and just kind of go from there. It's really not too much work, but it's also still a good amount of work.
It's still a good amount of work.
But yeah, they're gonna be helping me knock it out, so can't thank them enough. And once again, that's why Wago is on this side of the shop, if you guys haven't noticed. So Sean can get to it easy. He's gonna be helping us with the fab work, and
we're gonna tag team knock this thing out real quick.
Get her going.
Get her to the show.
Get her boosted.
That's it.
Oh yeah. It's time.
It is time.
You coming to help too, Fong?
Yeah, come help.
We knew there was an EF involved, and he had to come on down.
He heard EF and he was here.
Yeah. He didn't invite me, but it's just good timing, so.
Hey, he brought me a monster.
Oh yeah.
He knows my name's Kyle, so thank you. Alright guys, it's time to install the K-Tune shifter and Wago. We're in the process of getting the cables out right now. Fong's knocking that out, so we are ready to get these guys installed. We won't have our funky shift pattern anymore. So I'm gonna bring these over there and help him get all this stuff installed. Easy.
Oh, try to get the rubber out first.
Nice. Did you take the seat out to get the middle thing out of there?
Yeah.
Had to take the driver's seat out to get that plastic piece out, huh?
So the big one is selected.
Mount for the intercooler.
Yeah, got this piece of tube, just built a couple tabs. Gonna get that started right now while you guys are over there working. It'll be stuff that I can prefab and then when I get it on the car, I can put the mounting tabs and everything it needs there, and just get a little head.
Oh yeah. So right now we're working on making an adapter for the shifter. We're getting our K-Tune shifter all installed. And this is the old adapter I made for the MR2 way back to convert the MR2's shifter to a RSX shifter. And we're kind of doing the same thing. And we made a new plate right here, and then we just used the old Wago shifter as a template to mark out these outer holes. And then this is the plate for the K-Tune shifter, and we just use that to mark the inner holes. And then we can take this and we'll be able to bolt it down where the old Wago shifter used to be. That will bolt down to those guys. And then right now we're getting ready to use nutserts on these inner holes right here, so then we can bolt that K-Tune plate down to this, and then we can bolt the shifter all to that and be good to go. So we could have just drilled new holes through the tunnel, but we have the drive shaft through there and it'd be really hard to get to. And doing it this way, we're not going to have to mess up any of the OEM stuff. We'll just be able to reuse our old holes and we'll be ready to rock.
Alright, so now we're about to go ahead and put some nut rivets in here. This cool tool was given to us by our friends at Astro Pneumatics, and we're going to get to use it on Kyle's car first.
Brand new.
Brand new. So, I just actually threaded this insert onto the end here, and this ribbed portion here is actually going to be what folds and crimps like a rivet, and the serrations on the side will actually be what gives it grip and traction so it doesn't spin as you're tightening or loosening a bolt inside. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down, stick it in the hole here, and boom.
Just like that.
Just like that. Now we got threads.
And we're gonna install the Boostedboiz custom Wago.
Like Boostedboiz custom shift adapter.
Yeah. Nice and tight.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like barely raised up because of our adapter plate, but it's gonna be solid. Has all 4 bolts.
Yeah. We're not gonna skip one.
Nope.
No.
That worked out really good.
Alright, so the blade's in. Cable is
Yep.
in.
Look at that.
Yep.
Shifter is in with all 4 bolts. That is looking so good.
Okay, let's try JDM style. Alright, point grip. Where the first gear at? That way, right? That way?
Yep.
Oh, I've driven to first. No, I'm quit.
No cables yet.
That's look beautiful, man.
That looks so good.
Yeah. Alright, let's get the cable in.
Still very difficult on these round edges here to cut it. Gotta get with it straight. There we go.
Ever.
There we go.
That looks awesome. We got the shifter hooked up.
Progress, progress, progress.
That looks so good.
We done. We have $7.99.
$7.99.
$7.99.
179. Oh, 175.
Yeah.
I think that's just what he kind of had envisioned.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Almost there now. I
Love
just
the
got to
radiator.
mount to the tab. Right now these two are joined together.
Flow's great.
What are you guys doing right now? The headlight wires?
Yeah, doing all the headlight, all the lighting on this side, and then that side I'm going to do the cooling fan and lighting. It'll be cool.
Okay. I'm good with that.
All right.
That thing's fancy.
That's fancy.
The snap-on butane soldering iron.
It's spoiling me right now.
Getting out of here, Fong.
I'm out of here.
Thanks for all the help.
No problem.
Came in handy with this bucket of tools.
Just hang on your potato, Dr. Jones. Alright, see y'all.
See ya.
Alright, so I also pulled the fuel pump out of Wago. I just had a 255 in there, a Walbro, and we are replacing it with a Deshworks 400. And this was given to me, so huge shout out to them. And supposedly this 400 outflows a Walbro 450 by 31%. So we're gonna test it out. I don't plan on making crazy power with Wago. Honestly, the 255 is probably enough, but we definitely be like pushing it. So this is gonna be a lot easier on the fuel system. And then if we wanna go for bigger power later on, this should be able to handle close to 600 or 700 horsepower just with this guy right here. So I've seen people make well over 700 on this pump on stock line. So we got that all wired in, ready to go. Simple swap, so we can throw this back in there. And like we showed you guys earlier, Brent found this fitting that just fits in the factory banjo threads right there, just a -6. So that's in there already. We just got to put this back in the tank and then run our new feed line all the way to the front of the car, and we'll have fuel.
This would be a good pump selection for the van.
Yeah, we should try that out.
Yeah.
And I like how it doesn't have that fat bottom that the 450 does.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make it as hard to get in.
It's nice that they give Wagos an access.
Yeah.
Most EFs don't. Most you have to drop the tank.
Yeah, I never knew that this was a blessing on the wagons.
It is a blessing.
So I guess on the EFs you have to completely unstrap it to do this.
Yeah, but you
There's
just
no hole up
strap it and you have to get under the car. And
That sucks. I'd probably just take like a die grinder. And
yeah. Well, you have to find it. Yeah.
make your own access hole.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the new fuel pump installed. You can see our -6 feed coming off the top right here. Brent actually got that installed yesterday already. Just runs through the trim under the carpet right here. But we had to do it like this because this is all we really had. As you can see, this 90-degree fitting kind of comes up higher than the factory cover would be right here. And our only concern with this is that when we put the seat down, we didn't want any weight on this fitting, but it has these little stops on the seat, and we already tested everything, and it does clear. You can sit on it and it's not going to hurt the fitting at all. Later on we might change that to see if they make like a banjo that would get it lower, like the factory banjo, and then maybe we could run the line underneath everything instead of having to come over. But for right now that is going to work. And then that line comes all the way over to the front. Sean is getting ready to fab an up pipe for us. But while he's doing that, you can see where the feed comes through, comes out this hole right here, comes out and around, and then we have a fuel pressure regulator mounted right here on this motor mount. We used a hole that was already existing, and we just used a 10mm bolt to mount that guy up, and our feed comes into the regulator on this side, and then our return comes back out the bottom, and then to the factory return, and then the pressure side of that comes off and then goes into our rail, and then this side of the rail just has a plug on it. Then we have our fuel pressure gauge right there to see what the pressure's at, but the fuel system should be ready to go.
Yeah, it'll work great.
We have to just put a battery on it and prime it, make sure everything's good, no leaks.
Man, that clamp looks like shit.
Yeah, it's a rusty clamp, but it's the only one we have. It'll work.
It'd be right if it was perfect.
Trusty rusty. Trusty rusty.
Trusty rusty.
That's the name of that clamp. Fixing the injector plugs.
Yeah, no pigtails no more. You know how much I love those.
No more pigtails. What, get rid of the pigtails?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably needs to happen soon.
The hatches made them work, so I can't argue.
That's way too big.
Yeah, that's way too big.
Damn. Alright, so our -10 line is a little too small for the oil return. It doesn't fit over the fitting that was already welded on the pan. So we're actually going to be using a temporary drain out of a garden hose. This is from when Tom was test running his boat motor on the engine stand. He just was running water through it with a garden hose. It fits perfect over the push lock fittings, and we're just gonna do this for tonight so we can try to fire this thing up. And then tomorrow morning we'll go to our local tubes and hoses and we'll pick up the right push lock fitting that will fit over this 90 right here, and then that will fit over the drain, because this -10 also doesn't fit over this push lock either. Just barely too small, but we're gonna use this garden hose for right now. Whoa! Come on, Rocco.
Damn drill bit's attacking. Closest to the camera?
Yeah. Honestly, that's good enough.
Just for tonight. Just put the cookies in here.
You should. Feel great on the floor.
Sorry, Rocco.
I think it's the mic.
Oh, the fuzzy part on.
Fuzzy mic.
Probably thinks it's like a little mouse. Yeah, he goes crazy over laser pointers.
Shadows, lights, everything. Yeah, he loves the shadows, the lights. He's like a little cat.
It's hot, huh?
Brent's the one who said it wasn't hot.
I just
He
tapped
had to
it.
put his sleeve over his hand too.
The second time I did. So it's warm, definitely
Well, yeah, you
warm.
can always adjust that too.
Yes. I know. Still got to get the air running.
That just
tomorrow.
looks like it'd be pissed off. Can you imagine like the pops when he does his key on key off?
Yeah.
Poof! Big old flame balls.
Key bombs.
Yeah, key bombs.
That's good for a
Yeah,
startup.
I
I was gonna say don't break that clamp.
No, it's good.
Now switch your starts.
All right, guys, I think we're ready to give Wago a little startup. We got everything bolted up. Sean got the down pipe knocked out, or I guess it's an up pipe. Got that knocked out. We got the garden hose oil return. We got the oil feed all ready, and we got the fuel lines and everything all hooked up. The new pump is in and wired up. We checked for fuel leaks, and everything is good there. Brent also rewired the clips on the injectors. Those are all good. Fuel rails tightened down. We got the intercooler mounted up. We got the radiator mounted up, and we also got some radiator hoses. Those are on there as well. Everything is hooked up, and we're ready to fire it over and see how it sounds. This will be the first start on the new turbo kit. And we don't have a throttle cable hooked up right now, so Brent's gonna be the throttle cable.
Brum brum. I don't know where my keys at.
We've been rocking all day. It's late at night.
Yeah, it's like 10:30 or something.
No,
it's like
Midnight. I don't even know how late it is.
Yeah.
What is it?
11:51.
11:51. I thought it was like 10:30.
It's almost tomorrow. Oh, we lost fuel pressure.
Okay.
Yep. You gotta give me a high five for the camera. Yeah. It's all the garden hose. Thanks, Tom, for the garden hose.
Hey, is the turbo spinning?
Yes.
I know. The feed line was leaking and the engine was behind.
Yeah, stuck those up. Hey, it made it. It was torn apart at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Full turbo kit.
Full turbo kit,
Just about. We just need one more
plus
spark plug.
shifter, plus
The
fuel
the
pump,
wiring.
wiring, a lot.
A lot.
And she idles like a champ, man. It's great. It's awesome. job, guys. That was awesome.
Still don't see any leaks, so.
Nope, no leaks.
It's so clear.
I'm so he just recorded that.
You did
really
record
did.
that?
He really did.
Great.